Come here, let me try and run somebody. Man, I want to come on here and speak about this chick. Her name is Roxanne Doucette. She got an email or a text from a scammer. He was a scammer that said he was a soap opera. He was an ex-soap opera superstar.
What?
And that he wanted to get with her, but she was married. He suggested that she leave her husband, get rid of him, whoop, so on and so forth. So she decided to text back and say, well, I'm thinking about, maybe if I do something to him, I can get some insurance money in the process. So I guess later on she texted me and say, hey, I made him some soup with I think she said, well, how did she word it? She worded it some type of way. She said, in other words, she telling him she put something in the soup. Now the daughter found this out when they get to the hospital. The dude didn't pass, he didn't die, which is good. But the fact that she let somebody online, which was a scammer, convince her into doing such a thing, that's love. I say that to say, man, you got to watch who you laying on the side of, who you trusting, making you fool. This dude was 72 years old. Apparently they probably ain't been together for years. And you just don't know. People so caught up in the fantasy world to the point where she chose fantasy over reality. And don't get prosecuted. Now this is the thing, it's a little town apparently, so you got the police chief or whatever saying like, don't judge, all the facts ain't there. What else we need to hear? The daughter found the text messages in the phone while they was rushing them to the hospital, while they was in the hospital, tending to him. The daughter suggested, let me go through mama's phone, see what she got going on. And that's what she found. The lady boo-hooing and crying and saying, oh, I didn't do nothing to him. Now the toxicology came back and said negative, but the text messages said it all. Whatever was in his system probably wasn't lethal enough. Apparently it wasn't. He's still living. So she just tried something and thought it was gonna get him up out of there, but it didn't. That's why I suggest to be healthy and let the world know you're healthy. That's why I do it. I used to drink and smoke and get high and all of those kind of stuff, but now I'm letting the world know I'm healthy. My blood pressure's intact. I had diabetes. My sugar diabetes is intact. I don't even take the meds no more, by the grace of God and determination to get up and change it by myself. So guess what? It won't sound normal to my people to be like, oh, he died, his sugar was high. Nah, my son be online working out, doing this, doing that. He don't take me that. So you got to come up with something else. You see what I'm saying? So get yourself together health-wise. And for this chick Roxanne Doucette, she deserves whatever she got coming to her for falling for the okie doke. Pull up.
WBZ speaking with the Townsend woman who police say was tricked into poisoning her husband by a fake soap opera star. Well, she's now charged with attempted murder. WBZ's Ken McLeod is live in Townsend. And Ken, she says this is one big misunderstanding.
Yeah, and Chris, the police chief is strongly urging people here to wait until all the facts are in on this one, suggesting things are not always what they appear to be. But at the same time, he acknowledges it has a pretty bizarre ring to it.
I didn't poison him.
As she stood in the doorway of the house on Ash Street, where she's under investigation for feeding her husband poisoned soup in early December, Roxanne Doucette tearfully denied it.
I've never ever tried to poison him in any way whatsoever. I love him very, very much. and I would never try to kill anyone.
She claims the soup was simply old, but things took a bizarre turn hours later when she called 911 and her 73-year-old husband Paul was rushed to the hospital. That's where the couple was met by their daughter, who was suspicious and began to examine her mom's phone. According to court documents, there are messages on that phone from a scammer claiming to be a soap opera star who wanted to hook up with her, with one message saying, quote, "You have to get rid of your husband, honey. I need you so much."
It was a scam.
But court documents say she eventually wrote back, quote, "Making an amazing soup, special potion. Maybe I could collect life insurance." Her 73-year-old husband was barely conscious when first taken to the hospital, but survived. And while acknowledging it's the talk of the Townsend police chief is urging against any rush to judgment.
I just tell everybody to just kind of take a step back, take a deep breath, think things through before you spread things or before you think you know what's going on. Sometimes it's a little bit more complex than it seems.
A limited toxicology test on Paul Doucette came back negative, but Roxanne is now under court order to stay away from him.
I just want him to come home. I just love him so much.
When police tried to seize her phone as evidence, they say Roxanne Doucette fought with them and kicked them. And as a result, she's been charged with resisting arrest and assaulting an officer. She does admit, however, the phony soap opera scammer duped her out of $8,000.